Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 26th of January, Australia Day, comes to me from London, and wishing all my fellow Australians happy Australia Day. And last night, of course, we're celebrating Burns Night, so to my Scottish friends, belated Burns Day wishes as well. So I put a post up on LinkedIn this morning, US NatGas falling through $3. When we broke this $5 level, we had that support level in October, and then we broke it at the beginning of this year, just the start of January, when we fell through that $5 mark. We broke the long-term trend, we broke below the weekly cloud, and we had the lower high, lower low scenario, which was clearly the end of this uptrend. So we are now in a bearish market for US NatGas prices, and people find that very hard to believe, but that's what the chart says. This is a weekly chart. Remembering the weekly chart is a long-term chart where we're thinking months ahead. So it looks like for 2023, gas prices in the US will remain low, and that will affect LNG prices and potentially European gas prices for the year that's coming. And we'll look obviously at those prices in a minute. But the question I've been asked a few times this morning since I posted this on LinkedIn, well, you've talked about downside targets, how low we can go. Well, you've just got to do the analysis yourself. I'm running here on Refinitiv Icon. You could be running on Bloomberg, Trayport, Montel, whatever you wish. So first of all, we look at the 1% chart, and you want to use log scale charts, remember, because with log scale charts, with that dramatic change where we've nudged $10 and we're now at $3, only a log scale chart will help you do the analysis. And we do have this downside target to $2.60, and that target was given at $5. So we can't ignore that. There's another one here at 259 on the 0.5% chart, and again that target was given all the way up here at a much higher level. That was given at $5. So when we broke that $5, those are the targets that you look to. We had $2.60, $2.59. On the 60-minute chart, we had targets at 313, 336. They were met. A new downside target that was given only yesterday the day before yesterday to $2.35. That was given at $3.10, and that's the downside target. And then on the very short term, if you're trading Natty, you really want to be looking at the 1 minute targets. And on the short term, we've got 283, 283, 281. So these 280s looking quite likely, although we do have some upside targets. So having fallen so heavily, we've got a little bit of a mixed picture going on. And in our morning report out to clients, we called NatGas neutral today, because for today, and that's where we're looking at the 1 minute targets, we've just got a little bit of a neutral picture. Remember to vary the box size, so you can go up a box size and you'll see we still have this 278 target that's there. And on this box size, this is the 0.5% chart, we can see here that we are still got downside targets, and all these targets all the way down were met. And if we go smaller still, so if you're trading it really aggressively short term, you'll see we're going up before we're going down, because we've got these little upside targets. Just watch this picture develop. That's going to be quite key in your analysis. So we'll come back to look at the energy mix, but I just started that because I had quite a lot of questions this morning about US NatGas and the fact that we were falling through that $3 level, and I posted the chart on LinkedIn. So let's have a look at what's going on in the other markets. So we start by looking at the dollar. We're seeing the dollar index still continuing to struggle on the medium and short term. This is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart. And so here we see we've got downside targets below 100 points. We found some support here at 101.50 on the 60-minute chart, but we are below the cloud, both on the daily and the 60-minute. So dollar weakness is still very much a theme. The euro is actually slightly weaker against the dollar this morning. Dollar's just a little bit stronger. And so we are seeing just a little bit of a recovery in the dollar, but really on the chart, we see the euro is still bullish, and really just maybe testing some weekly resistance on the cloud. But interestingly, we've got targets to 114.91, 110, and 111.50. So we've got upside targets telling us that the euro is going higher still. Sterling sitting at nearly 124, just nudging 124. And so again, looking pretty strong against that weaker dollar, going up the hill all all the time, so that's also quite key. And against the euro, we're sitting at 113.65, so we're a little bit weaker here against the euro. We're seeing that the general trend for sterling is just one of weakness against that euro, but mostly sideways. It's all about dollar weakness, really, and that's what we're seeing. So the euro and sterling going up in line with that. Looking at Bitcoin, we're sitting at just nudging $23,000. We had that target to 22,000. That was given at 17,800, given and met. So we are bullish on the medium term and on the short term. If you're trading Bitcoin, look at the 1 minute targets. That's going to really help you trade it. And if we look at US markets, they were pretty hard hit at the open yesterday. NASDAQ down around 2.5% at the open. We did actually see that we recovered some ground, having just opened right down there on the 60-minute chart. We did actually recover quite a bit of that ground, but the fact is we are still just below the cloud on the weekly, on the daily, and on the longer term weekly. We are still bearish with downside targets. A little bit of a tussle going on here with equal columns. So for the moment, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, but the long-term picture is still one of weakness. We're seeing the futures up slightly this morning. The S&P future up 0.15%. The NASDAQ E-mini up 0.5%. So we are seeing potential for the markets to open higher. FTSE future is up this morning just slightly. The DAX in Germany also up around 0.25%. So the German market has been looking better, and we're seeing that there. We're just trying to get through the cloud on the lagging line, but on the daily chart, we've been bullish on the DAX now for a good few months, so that's looking pretty good. Japan was a bit weaker. The Hang Seng was up 2.3%, so that's quite interesting there. And looking at that, we see here that the Hang Seng is again just testing that cloud from below. But what a recovery that we've seen there. Just a little bit of a shortage of targets. We do have this target to 27,000. We're sitting at 22, but the medium term not so clear. We do have some short-term targets to play for as well. India was actually up 0.75%. Remembering that India is one of the few markets that's been making all-time highs. And in my poll this week on LinkedIn, I've had about 1,500 votes, and India seems to be the market that most people see going higher this year. Looking so the Sensex, that was the Chinese market. Looking at Sensex, it was actually down 1%. We still do have these very strong targets. The Aussie market was closed for Australia Day, and we'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Most commodities actually rising. Gold sitting at 1936. So we are just holding that level. Just a little bit of a shortage of upside targets on, and we probably need a bit of a pullback. We've got 1951, 1967, 1983 on the short-term chart. All those buying thrusts. Remember, that's what it's about. Buying thrusts pointing higher, and you can do this, of course, on any chart at all. Now, looking at the energy mix quickly, we'll have a look at Brent Crude first of all, sitting just nudging $87. So that's really been quite interesting. We're looking here at my daily and my 60-minute chart with my medium term, short term, and very short term view, i.e. today. We called it neutral today because we had targets in both directions. We seem to have found a floor at 85.50. We've just got to watch for a break of that cloud, so that's going to be quite key. We talked about US NatGas, of course, so that's been quite interesting. Looking at carbon, we really did find support around that 81 level on carbon emissions. 90 is a very big resistance level on the daily chart, but we are bullish above the cloud on both the medium term and the short term with upside targets 87 and 88. And so it'd be interesting if we break 85, then we really look to those targets. That's really what you're looking for. We had some resistance at 85 and just looking for that level. Gas prices pretty static this morning. TTF up just under 2%. NBP also just up slightly. The key thing is, have we seen the low? Was that the low that we saw on the 17th of January? And last of all, look at German power. What's quite interesting, this is the EEX contract from Montel. What's quite interesting, we're seeing just a little bit of a transition through the cloud here. The lagging line finding a bit of a resistance, then finding support and running higher. Upside targets. So just a mixed picture at the moment, but watch for new highs and new lows there. That's it for today. Happy Australia Day. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.